this will brighten up a little.
Okay.
But you're right, the lighting is a little off, but I
It
think it's
is.
because the sun actually
It's
looks
just
better now that we're live. So that's it.
yeah.
So you just brought up something before we dive into learning
Yeah.
about your food and culture and your religion.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, we just said before we went live
Hmm.
that everybody needs validation,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes.
And I think we live in a world that people need validation,
Yes.
but we need to have the validation in here.
Yes.
Would you have any words to share on that?
Hmm. I think self-love is something which has been
Mm,
propagated a lot currently.
mm,
It's like the modern thing. We must love ourselves. But actually, we should learn from our grandmothers, who
mm.
just used homemade things to look pretty. They had no fancy spas or beauty
Yeah.
parlors. They had like, my grandmother would just take a little wheat flour and put some fresh milk in it, or top of the milk
Mm,
cream, and a little home turmeric, and just wash your face
that's
after
great.
keeping it on for some time.
Yeah.
And that is what we are going back to now.
Yeah.
So I think what we really need is not remembering to love ourselves,
Mm,
but naturally know that if our body is not
mm,
good enough, how are
mm.
we going to love anybody else or the world?
That's true.
All
That's
that
true.
big talk of loving everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it is talk and not action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I want to introduce you. I'm with Lily, and then help me pronounce your last name.
Sworn.
Sworn.
So Swarn in my homeland of India, and Swan when
Hmm.
I come to America. So it's okay either way. The R is to be pronounced.
I love it. I
Thank
love it.
you.
She's a multilingual and international best-selling author with over 70 plus awards and published books in multiple genres. So I'm humbly honored to be sitting
Oh,
here with my friend Lily
thank you
today.
so much.
And the whole thing about this is interfaith. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints,
Mhm.
and you are, and I'm going to kibosh this. So I'm going to just let you do it.
So I come from a faith called Sikhism. And
Yeah.
I am what is called a Sikh, Sikh, which loosely means disciple in English.
Disciple.
And
Yeah.
Sikhs, the first one, the guru was Guru Nanak, who started this. It was like a reform movement
Mm,
because there were too many rituals
mm,
between, and religion was becoming fanatic.
mm.
So just to do away with all this Hindu Muslim thing came Sikhism, a
Wow.
modern language. And I'm very, very proud that
Yeah.
I was born in a Sikh family.
That's a lot. That's wonderful. It made me think of how far we've come because our church is building a temple in India.
Wow.
And the closest temple to there now for members that are in India,
Hmm.
they have to fly 12 hours to go to Japan.
Oh,
So now, because there's a temple, but the government has now allowed it, and we've built interfaith relations,
I love that. I love the
which is
sound of
important.
that. Interfaith relations, because that is what Sikhism propagates. And
Yeah.
that is the root of the faith, is that the whole world is one.
Yeah.
Ek Noor, which means one light. Ek Noor te sab jag upja. The whole world was born out of that one
Yeah.
divine light. So
Yeah.
that is the tenements which we are based on. And
Yeah.
I love what you just asked me.
Yeah. I see. And I think that, in a lot of people think like that because I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that we believe in polygamy. We don't. That's, breakaways. We believe in we believe in family values, just like you do.
Yes.
And
yes.
we believe in being honest and fair. Like, I could leave my wallet with you and know that
it'll be safe.
It'll be safe.
Yeah.
And that's what we pride ourselves on. And there's a glow about you when I met you.
Oh, thank you.
And I feel like, that members of my faith have that glow that I can kind of spot.
Perfect.
And she's got that glow.
I love that.
So
thank you.
I could tell that she had a good heart,
Oh.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, good heart is important in this. You know what? Now that you mention it, people are afraid of believing a true man. When somebody's nice to you, you're kind of skeptical and doubtful. Why is he nice to me?
Yeah.
This means meanness and being evil and bad is the norm, and goodness is now a gone back thing. It's like, passe. Nobody wants. It's like extinct.
Yeah.
What is that happening to us? We as a
Mm.
human race do not believe in goodness.
Yeah.
We expect the other one
We-
to be a bad person.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And it's
Yeah.
changed a lot, because when I hold the door for people at a mall,
They
or
get surprised.
they get surprised, like, does he, do I still have my wallet? Do I still have my purse? It's not
Yeah.
what it used to be when I was
Yes,
brought up
Yes.
to hold the door for a woman,
Yes.
to get a car door,
Yeah.
I'll often stop and let somebody pass me. And they're like,
Gentlemanliness is old-fashioned, you mean?
it is. It is.
Uh-oh.
But you get it. You get
Yeah.
it. We have our friend in New Zealand, Craig, just commented. He said, "Morning, you guys. I love these chats with other faiths."
Wonderful.
This is what this is all about. And this is my second one today. And I've created a special playlist for this. And I'm going to keep this going.
Thank you.
So but I want to talk about, now that we talked about religion.
Yes.
I understand you are the author of a food book. I want to hear about food. I'm getting hungry. It's almost dinner time. And our friend Craig, it's his breakfast time in New Zealand.
So I must tell you, it's a book I was very passionate about writing. Being a poet, I know I'm a creative person, but food made me want to write this book, because whenever I saw food on my plate, I would wonder, where did this come from? How did it start? And how is it in this particular, shape and, flavor? And why is it in this way eating it? So I started researching, and to my horror and sometimes to my delight, I realized that what I thought was Indian food was not really Indian.
Yeah.
It had come across the continents, across many, with warring countries, with armies, and then it suddenly acquired a different, kind of a look, like a jalebi is a dessert in India, which is very popular. But it was zulabia in Iran. And then biryani, as you know, is a rice dish which is made in many forms in many parts of the world. And then I realized that too came because when armies got hungry, they just dug a pit and made a fire, and they just mixed up the rice and the meat and every spice that they had, and hey presto.
Yeah.
And then butter chicken. Butter chicken is supposed to be quite now, actually, tikka butter masala is the national dish of Britain. But it's very, very Indian, and people came upon it by chance.
Yes.
Ask me how. So somebody's tandoori chicken dried up, and he had customers and he didn't know what to do. There was some tomatoes. He quickly made a curry kind of a sauce, and he dipped that dry tandoori chicken in it, and we had chicken butter masala.
Oh, wonderful.
Butter chicken. So these are the things I wanted to probe, why cupcakes in Washington are so popular, in Georgetown. And why is it that the pizza in the Little Italy in New York is the real authentic fire pizza? So I worked on it, found out where coffee really came from, who must have discovered coffee, and how it was just a goat's herd, and whose goats got frisky after eating these beans that he discovered. So stuff like that. And
maybe that's why we don't drink coffee in our religion.
I see. Yeah, caffeine, it's a high.
Yeah.
So that is exactly what, motivated me. So it's called History on My Plate, the book.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your readers would love to, know what it has, wine, where it came from.
Well, I'm definitely going to pin that in the comments section, or I can have you post it in the comments and then I can pin it to the top.
Sure.
But it's, I learned a valuable lesson from my friend Oprah Winfrey. She taught me, when she interviewed Michael Jackson, her biggest mistake that she made was, she said, "Oh my gosh, I was on national TV, on ABC, prime time. Nobody was allowed to interview Michael Jackson, and I was." And Oprah says, "I feel like I flopped the interview because I didn't ask one question."
What was that?
So I'm going to ask you that question. Is, what do you want to be known for? What does your legacy want to be?
I want to be known as a woman who was passionate. That should be the tagline for me. Because love is something which is so loosely spoken about. It's bandied about. And how, little ones will tell their mother, "Love you, mom." I don't think they're feeling very loving at that time. People just pick up the phone and say, "I love you."
Love you, bye.
So you do switch on and switch off. Love is not what I want to be known as. I want to be known as a lady who was passionate about things she did, and she had the compassionate streak in her. That is enough. That's enough for my gravestone.
Yep. And I got to say, can feel that with your spirit, if
Thank
that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
And whether, don't ever let anybody discourage you from your religion. There's a lot of people out that try to, and I've experienced it. And I just, I've gotten death threats and stuff, but this isn't about me. It's about all religions. And I think people are going to start feeling the hatred more because it's almost like we're going backwards, where this could have happened really easily 10 years ago. But now people don't want to talk about interfaith, or you're Catholic. Well, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There's a wall up, and that wall needs to come down.
So there are two things here. I don't know if this will resonate with your thinking. One thing is that you're born to a faith. You never asked to be born in a family. See, you were just born there. And that is the faith you grew up, learning. But I would say for myself, I grew up because I was born in a Sikh family. So I read the Sikh scriptures. I heard the Sikh holy hymns. I learned them. They resonated with me. But I studied in a Catholic school, and I learned my catechism, Hail Mary, Our Father who art in heaven. And then I went to a Sacred Heart College to teach English to grown-up girls. Degree classes, but I don't mind listening to Sufi music, to qawwalis, which is considered to be part of the Muslim culture. So what's all this about? It's incidental if you want it to be, and your choice only if you have a large heart, remembering that aren't we all just humans? We are just born to faiths. Why do we make it the opium of the masses? Religion is used by politicians to divide you, to madden you, to make you crazy and fight, and you just let yourself get into it. That's what I feel.
Lily, you prompted me and inspired me. I'm gonna send this to my friend Marie's team, because Marie, for those of you who don't know, Marie Osmond, she is she was brought up in the faith I'm in. Okay, but I'm a convert, meaning I joined just later in life. And so she, her mother taught her to study all religions, because they wanted them to know that what they were born into, to develop a testimony in the Holy Bible, in the Book of Mormon, in a living prophet, to develop a testimony. So she studies Buddhism, Hindu, she studies everything. One of her team members that travels with her is actually Buddhist. Wonderful. And I made a mistake many years ago when I was backstage with them. I assumed that she was a member of my faith because she worked for Marie. And everybody else I knew that worked, my friend Darla was a member of our faith that worked for her. My friend Lorraine Wheeler was a member of her faith. So I assumed that she was, and it taught me not to assume, to judge.
That's true. I don't know if this is a question you would have wanted to ask me, but I just want you to know that service to humanity is one of the tenements of our faith, and I'm sure it is of your faith and many faiths. How is that? We have something called free food. It's called langar. So anytime there's a calamity or catastrophe anywhere in the world, people forget that along with medicines and blood and stuff like that, you need food. So we have non-stop 24/7 langar or free food in all the Sikh gurdwaras all over the world.
Is she not a member? Like I'm a member of her faith and she's a member of ours. Because we are the same. We literally, so we have things called the yellow shirts. And because we have missionaries all over the world with the black badges, they're already there before FEMA's there. They're there when the hurricane hits Houston, or when there's a tsunami in India. We're there with you. But we don't advertise it because we are very humble, if that makes sense. And just like you are.
So we are kindred spirits, and that way we all need to be quiet about the work we do, but because the world needs it. People in pain, in grief, in hunger, in poverty, always constantly need. And when COVID happened, we had something called cylinders in case instead of food, because that time oxygen cylinders were very difficult to come by during the corona epidemic. So any way in which you can
Yeah.
heal the world.
That's
Healing
it.
the world with talk is also one way. What you are doing,
Yeah.
you're healing people from biases.
Yeah.
From,
I say, who needs a therapist when you got this?
You don't need to be angry and hateful
Yeah.
towards each other.
Yeah.
That is never going to take us anywhere. If we
Yes.
are large-hearted, another thing is of my faith is Chadki Kala means you should always be equanimity and a full cheer and good cheer under
Yeah.
any circumstance, because we
Love
also
that.
believe in karma and reincarnation.
Yeah.
So if you are in
Yeah.
good cheer, okay, I could mention this to you.
Absolutely.
I lost a young son to cancer, and nobody who sees me believes it. He was 22 when he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he was 23 when he passed on. But I vowed to myself that I'm going to celebrate his life, be thankful that he was my son, that he was born to us, and the years that he spent with us. So why would I grieve him? Why would I go around with a moping face?
Do you know anything about members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day?
I think I'm going to know about it now.
Because this is like
That's
this is
why
us.
we met.
This is us. I mean, so my younger brother died in 2004 from a drug overdose,
Oh
and
my God.
I used to mourn his death. Well,
Oh my God.
because we believe that it requires a living body to be baptized, we have temples. There's one in Farmington.
What is it?
It's
What is it called? The church of?
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
And we have temples where we can perform proxy baptisms and confirmations for the dead, but they need a physical body, so we act as that proxy.
Oh.
So we believe in celebrating their life, not mourning their life.
I believe so too. I'm so glad you said that to me. We
Yeah.
are kindred spirits today, and I believe that you don't chance upon people. I said
Yeah.
that to Jerry too yesterday.
Yes.
It's always predestined, and otherwise, how would any random person? And I'm coming from thousands of miles away, across 7 oceans, and yet we are here having this conversation. Surreal, to say the least, and a very easy conversation. There's nothing.
And I just met you last night for the first night when I was talking to our friend Jerry.
Yeah,
so
and there was nothing hackneyed, nothing stilted about this conversation. It's
No.
flowing.
It was flowing, and I can't. This spirit was like it was like va 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 boom. It had a lot of paprika. What spices do you like?
I like it, but not too much chili. But I like all the Indian spices like cardamom.
Yeah, there's all of that in this.
Coriander.
So if you were just tuning in, you got to watch this from the beginning, because she's definitely. I'm her brother from another mother, and vice versa.
Perfect. Happy to know you.
We are eternal family. Whatever. It's just it's interfaith is what it's all about.
Yes.
And I have one comment that I'm going to get to, and then we'll end it. Craig says, I love that. Have a large heart. My friend Karen in Cedar City, Utah says, this is so interesting. See,
thank you.
People love this.
Thank you.
It's important to learn about all faiths, I think.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah. And also, which is mistaken for another community. The men have flowing beards and they have turbans in Sikhism. And there were times when they were considered to be another community, and there was a fallback, and there was, a problem with that. But just to let the world know, all those who hear you, that Sikhs are different from many other who look like them.
And there's a lot of, for church too, because Joseph Smith prayed in the garden after James 1:5, any of us lack wisdom, let us ask of God. And he asked, my father is one religion and my mother's another. Which church do I join?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, well, Lord and Jesus Christ appeared to him in the grove and said, neither. You are going to restore another testament of our Savior Jesus Christ.
Perfect.
So it's it's the restored version. You're the newer version, if that makes sense.
I guess because a man of faith should be a man who has humane qualities predominantly, who doesn't wish to convert another, who doesn't want to drill things into another, who just wants to be a nice person. So that just by example, he lets people follow him that way.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Well, I'm going to say this was such a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so honored that you thought me worthy of coming here.
Absolutely.
And those of you who don't know my work, I write multilingually in Punjabi, my mother tongue, in Urdu, in Hindi, and English, and poetry and novels and lots more. Go ahead and find me. I'm Lily Swarn, Lilyswarn.
We'll pin her comment to the top. when this is uploading,
Okay.
and then you can do it from your YouTube account, and then I'll pin it to the top,
Thank you.
and then we'll put a link to everything. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you
you.
for having me.
Thank
so
you
grateful
for being here. Let's go enjoy our dinner.
Let us.
Yes.
Thank you very
much. And now I'll hit end, and we will be good.
And how will I see it now?
You're gonna, if you